Okay, b squared minus 4ac was just the beginning. That was called the discriminant. And what we did was we stuck the numbers in, we got an answer. Do you remember there was three things that could happen? It could come out what? What or what? Negative or positive or zero. Yeah. And so there's three things that you had to know. If it comes out negative, this would happen, which was no solution. Good. Some of you guys have a short-term memory. I love it. What happens if it came out positive? Two solutions. Very good. And the one that's in between is where it's zero. That's not negative. It's not positive. It's zero. Then there was one solution. Awesome. Okay. Then you got a chance at that part of the test. Now the next part of the test goes like this. X equals negative b plus and minus the square root of all that, which we already did, all over 2a. And the two girls that sang it already know it. So I am not going to make you sing it today, but I am going to sing it for you. This formula, if you sing it, helps you remember it. And I'm telling you, at this school right now, there are 3,000 kids. A little more, actually. And there's probably only 100 left that don't know this formula. And that means there's 2,900 kids that know this song. I'm serious. I'm serious. There's 2,900 kids that got that song stuck in their head at one point. And it goes like this. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So, and I know some of you might be like, I'm too cool to learn that song. Fine, be too cool to learn that song and be the only person who doesn't know that formula when the test rolls around. Because literally at this school, there's 2,900 kids that know that song and can recite this formula. All right. So I get I have to fight against, some people think it's not cool to sing and stuff. So it's the Pop Goes the Weasel song. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. There you go. Now a few people more singing. All right. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Oh, I don't think we need to go one more time. All right. So that formula, that big honking formula, is not going to be on your next test. I know you're used to sometimes it will give you like formulas like that, and then you have to just use them. You have to memorize this. So if you have it memorized, though, then it's really not hard to do these problems at all, as long as you know what A, B, and C are. So here's a typical equation. Y equals 3A, wait, we usually use X. X squared plus 2X minus 3. No, let's make it a different number. Make it different so that it's 2, 3, and 4. Okay. I've got a weird spot on the board up there that kind of, there, I have to be careful when I write it. Okay, so there is A, B, and C. Do you see them? I hope that's pretty easy. That's A, that's B, that's C. Notice I grabbed the negative with it. So then, you just stick those numbers in that big honking equation. Where do you stick it? Well, it depends on which one you want. How does it start? What equals? The big honking formula, how does it start? X equals. There you go. There you go. And I'm serious when I say that there are 2,900 kids running around this school that know that song and know that formula because of that song. It's just Pop Goes the Weasel. Okay, well, that's what you have to practice. So that, just like if you got a new phone number, you get that there'll be 7 digits, or actually then there's 3 in front, right? So there's actually 10 digits. You wouldn't know it right away, but you just practice it a few times and you got it. All right, that's the same thing with this. So if you want, if you're like too embarrassed to like try to like hum it along at home or whatever, you can always put on the video. It's at servervideo.com. That's where these videos are going to get started. You can go there and listen to me sing it, and if you really, really want to know it, you could have it right there. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you to please copy down this formula again right now on your piece of paper, except with empty parentheses where the letters are. Yeah, this is a 2. I'm sorry, it got a little messy. So what I'm suggesting is that you write this with a parentheses wherever there's a letter. Apply parentheses. Don't interrupt. Raise your hand if you have something to say. There, you write exactly what I have on the board. I think that'll answer your question. And we have empty parentheses wherever there was a letter, wherever there was a variable. Now, that would actually be harder to memorize. It's easier to memorize it with the letters. But then you go back and you replace the letters with empty spots. And now I'm just going to slide this up a little bit so you can see A, B, and C. And would you see if you can figure out which number to put where? I'm going to pause for a minute while you see if you can figure that out. All right, so let's see who figured this out. This B was supposed to be a 2, and so is that. Raise your hand if you had the 2 in the right spot. Good. Next one is the A. The only one place. No, wait. Sorry. 2 places the A shows up. Sorry. No, there's 2 places the A shows up. And that's the A. There's the 2 spots. And then there's the C is the one I was thinking of that has only 1 spot where there's a C, and it is -4, and it's right there. Now, I know that's big and impressive and like super complicated, but honestly, it's just little tiny math problems now. Do you know how to do 2 squared? I do. Do you do? 4. All right. In the back. Please stop talking. Shh. There's 3 people talking in the back. Zip it. Thank you. Okay. That is 4. And then there's 4 times 3 times 4. That is a bit of a pain. Positive 48, you're really close. Because there's 2 negatives, get how 2 negatives, when you multiply them, they turn into positive. And very good on the 48, by the way. That was awesome. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 4 is 48. All right, so 48 plus the 4. Now, this is where a lot of people mess up. I warned you before, and I'll say it again. This spot right here, if you're going to make a mistake on the test, it'll probably be underneath there, because of the negatives. Remember how the 2 negatives made a positive? And everybody forgets that there's 2 negatives, or maybe there's 3 negatives sometimes, and they don't know what to do. Okay, if there's 1 negative, you subtract. If there's 2 negatives, you add. If you have 3 negatives, you go back to subtract again. Okay, so since there's 2 negatives, we're going to add the 4 and the 48. The 48 and the 4 add 52. So final answer, and this is kind of nice, you do not have to figure out the square root of 52. Because why? Because it isn't one of the perfect squares. And then how do I finish? What's on the bottom? 6. This might be the messiest looking answer you have ever given, but that is a correct answer. It's messy looking, but you don't have to figure out any further than that.
Why do you think the positive and negative?
That is a good question, because it's in the formula. And that's maybe the first time you guys have ever seen a positive-negative sign. That is called a plus-minus. And let's talk about that plus-minus for just a second. Thank you for bringing it up. Because you do both. Do you remember that this has a squared in it, so it must have 2 answers? So the plus-minus works like this. Here's a really easy one. 2 plus minus 8. It's like, what is it? Is it plus or is it minus? It's both. First you do it with a plus, then you do it with a minus. So 2 plus 8 makes what? 10. And then what's the other answer then? 2 minus 8. So it's 10 and -6, and there's 2 answers. You do it once with plus and once with minus. I know it's a new thing for you, because again, you're moving up higher in math, and there's this new sign, the plus-minus sign. Yes, sir. You're raising your hand? I'm calling on you. Yes, sir. Yes, you may. All right. Let's just see if you really got that whole plus-minus thing. What's 3 plus minus 2? Don't say the answers. Write down the 2 answers. And then I'm going to call on 2 random people to tell me what the 2 answers are. Just write them down. Mr. L. Mr. L, why don't you write the answers down once you've got them? You don't have to write anything out. Just write down the answers. I do ask you to do that. Yes, ma'am? You got the answers? Give me an answer. I'm ready. Oh, you know what? You're right. But how about this? You check the whoever I say should say it. You tell me if you think they're right or not. It's row 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Person 2. Fate wanted to choose you. All right, what is it?
Okay, 5.
5 is correct.
And then 1.
It is correct. 5 and 1 are the two answers. How many of you would have had that right if I had called on you? Okay, good. That's what plus minus means. Now, let's see if you can step it up a notch. This is the end of a problem. 2 plus minus the square root of 36 all over 2. Can you handle it?
So 6.
I bet you can. Yes, there's a 6 in it.
So it's
And then, yeah, you got to do a plus and a minus. I'm going to pause for a second. You try it. Okay, audio's back on here now, and we have final answers to this one. 8 divided by 2 was 4. Negative 4 divided by 2 was negative 2. So 4 and negative 2. All right, now I'm going to give you one more. And this one, Mr. Bartz and I are going to walk around and check answers to see if you can get it yourself without somebody else doing it. Ready? All I'm going to ask is that you simplify this down. 4 plus and minus the square root of, let's go with one you'd all know, 25. Don't say that, please. All over, let me think. Let's put it over 3. I agree. All right, I'm going to pause for a second while we go around and check you. You should have 2 answers written on your paper. When we come past, if you could just point like this. Show me where these 2 answers are. That would be good. Okay, we checked. And I believe that everybody at this point knows how we get those answers, which is awesome. So then, wait a second, one more thing. What happens if it isn't all simple like this, where it's already in a nice little package and simplified? What happens when it just starts with an equation? What starts with an equation? What if it says this? X squared plus 3x plus 2. What, guys, need your attention up here now. What if they just give you that? Well, first of all, I don't know if you remember this, but I have a saying that I've said a few times. If you can factor it, you should. This one would factor. But if we didn't want to do the factoring way, you just had a test on that. Do you remember that? X plus something and X plus something. What was that again? Anybody remember the last test? Come on now.
what are you talking about? You got to bring down 1 and 2.
There you go. All right, now. Thank you. All right, so this one, instead of factoring it, we can use this new thing I just taught you. It's a big honking formula. Let's see if you can recreate it. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root. And now stay quiet, please. Let people see if they can finish the rest of the formula themselves. That's like giving you part of it, letting you see, can you finish it? Can you finish it? Write it down. This is kind of like in the wild, where the mother albatross will catch the fish for the baby and bring it to the baby, but the baby still has to eat the fish by itself. Eventually, the albatross baby has to grow up and be able to do it all by itself. Oh, you mean like the Australian accent? Here we see the mama albatross in her native habitat. Anyway. I can't do it Australian, so b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Excellent. You have to pull that out of your brain, or your brain, depending on the person. Then, you have to be able to replace these with, what do you think I'm going to replace them with? Not really. I just replaced them with parentheses. Huh? And you're right, you're going to put numbers in those parentheses. Now, see if you can. This is our last problem. See if you can put this all together. You should know what A, B, and C are, even though somebody who's not that smart might say, there's no A, but there is an A. You just have to think. There's A and B and C. Well, you figure out what you think they are, and you put them in this formula. Here, 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 here. You fill in all these spots. See if you can simplify it down. So anyway, let's see if you put the numbers in the right spot. That's B, which is 3. Who had a 3 in that spot? You are correct. And that's also a 3. So you start with those two. The next is 4AC, so that's A, so that should be a 1 and a 1. Who caught that there was 1s in those places? Good. And the last one is C, and that's the C. There's only one C in the whole thing, and that's at the very end there. Can you finish the deal? It actually comes out to two nice, simple answers, like -3 and -2 or something like that. When it's all done, there's two simple answers. Can you handle it? All right, so the last problem to finish this off. This part was 9 and 8. Did you get -3 plus or minus square root of 1?
Yes.
That's right. All over 2. And then you just got to know what the square root of 1 is. What is the square root of 1? It's 1. So then this part's really just 1. And now I have 3 plus or minus 1. What does that mean? Just do plus and then...
No.
Yeah, you do plus first. Let's do that. -3 plus 1 over 2. And then you do the minus. -3 minus 1 over 2. And that one is -2 over 2. What is -2 over 2? -1 is correct. And then the other one, -4 over 2, which is -2. Raise your hand if you had those right. All right, good. And that's all I have for you on the quadratic formula for today.